Hi guys, welcome to Inverness in Scotland. I'm really behind, so I'm going to try to catch you guys up on the last few days. I was last in Edinburgh, and after I spoke to you guys, I explored the city a bit more, saw the Parliament building, another castle, can't remember the name of that one, and also Dynamic Earth, which is a science center, but cool looking building. And then I was actually close to this area called Arthur's Seat, which is this hike that you can do up a mountain. I didn't think I was gonna have time for it, but decided to go in the end, which I'm really glad I did because it's a really awesome view of the city there. So I did that at the end of the night, made it up there just after sunset, and then decided to follow GPS to go the shortest route home, which was interesting because it was taking me on another path. I definitely didn't end up on the right one it was pointing me to, but I did find a path which eventually took me down the mountain, which was interesting, definitely sketchy and steep, but luckily I made it down with no bruises or scratches or anything like that. So that was the end of my stay there, and then I got here a few days ago. Have been exploring this town, which is a cute, pretty little town. Right now I'm right by the Inverness Castle, I'll show you in a bit, and also along the River Ness, which has a beautiful view just of the city along the water. And after I got here, I kept hearing that they had these Highland games here, which I didn't know what that was. So finally I decided just to look it up to find out what it was, which is kind of like a miniature like Olympic Games. They do all these competitions and stuff, but a lot of, traditional like Scottish games. So I decided just to go over there. It was in this park nearby and see if I could get in because it was the end of the day, and it was just open. So I went right in and I got to see a couple of the last competitions, which was cool. One was they have this really big stone. It's shaped like our footballs, and they hold it up like to the side of their neck, and then they throw it as far as they can, like a shot put. I got to see that one. And then also this last one, they have this giant stone ball which weighs 252 pounds, and basically what you have to try and do is lift it off the ground and throw it over this stick that they set up, which pretty much looks like a high jump, and throw it over without hitting the stick. So that was cool to see something different. It's really hard to do that last challenge, but surprisingly, I think 3 guys got it in the end, so that was cool. And they had some bands later. I checked out a little bit, but nothing really crazy or special there. It pretty much ended when the games were over, I would say. It was like the fun stuff. And then I did, however, get, if you notice, this necklace which has a Celtic knot on it. So of course there's a lot of Celtic heritage here, also in Ireland, but learned a little bit about that, and also tried a little bit of gin there because they had this artisan tent. I know you guys probably know too that whiskey is really big here, but also a lot of gin. People drink a lot of gin, so I tried a bit of that and walked around the town a bit. Ended up doing this little hike, which was actually up in a cemetery. I didn't realize until I was following this trail, but you could see a lot from there, although it was mostly covered by trees. But it was cool seeing some of these really old tombstones that again had these Celtic designs, which I think they're really cool looking, which is why I decided to get the necklace, even though I'm trying not to buy stuff. But they're from the 1800s, some of these tombstones, and I saw some deer there. So pretty much just exploring the city, walked around the high street, which is the main street. Back at the castle now, there's also some other areas that are pretty here. Of course, there's a nice church, and this area called Eating Court that's actually they do theater there. So that's mostly been what I've been doing in Inverness. And then today there's an area called Loch Ness, which you guys probably know as Loch Ness, as in the Loch Ness monster. So I had to go check this out because of course I've heard about it so long ago I never even realized it was in Scotland. So a loch is how they say it here. The CH has that sound. It's kind of like a lake, but it's freshwater. Anyway, so took this boat ride along the canal, and then it went into the Loch Ness, And then we also took that to the Urquhart, I'm not saying that right, but castle. There's a castle there as well, which is mostly ruins, but you can still like explore it and learn about, of course, all the history and stuff. I've been learning a lot, but it's so hard to keep track, especially with all these castles. But that was a cool like little day trip from here, not too far from Inverness, and heard all the stories of the Loch Ness monster called Nessie. And it's cool to learn about. There's just all these legends of like people dying in the loch by this monster. So it started, I think, the rumor in, actually, when did they say? Maybe it was like 400 something AD. It's been around for a while. So that's pretty much been what I've been doing around here, for the most part anyways. I think I'm gonna try some haggis actually before heading back if I have time. A couple other things that I've learned along the way. So although everyone speaks English here, the older languages, there's Celtic, Gaelic, and Dork, which I didn't know there were like so many. I don't think I've heard any of them. Not too many people speak it anymore except the older generations. Also, people say we here all the time, like a wee this, a wee that, a wee little bit. So it's funny hearing that all the time. Brings back memories from my childhood because our neighbor's Scottish. So I've heard that a lot. And then you see a lot of tweed here. That's really popular. That's Scottish. And I'm trying to think what other things. Oh, carbon dioxide was invented here. Also like the medicine, the heart beta blocker. And a whole bunch of other things, which of course I can't remember. But let me show you a bit of the view, and then I will afterwards come back and tell you about this other like long side trip that I took yesterday, actually, to a totally different area up north. But before going, here is the Inverness Castle, as you can see, with the Scottish flag. Before heading out, I'm going to show you the beautiful view. You can see that church way back there, and then all the way down there you can see the river Ness. As usual, everything's Ness. Alright, that's it for now. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.